give up on your legal status. Many people fail to respond to RFE or file an application before the deadline. This is why we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Not everyone qualifies. First, you need to speak with our CARES team. We receive many requests, so we recommend you answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Our mission is to help people live and work in America legally. Go ahead and subscribe below and follow and share. Talk to you soon. What's happening? Today we're going to talk about the delays on immigration cases. Friends, my name is John Ting. I practice immigration law in all 50 states of America, helping you solve your immigration problem and hopefully preventing it from happening in the first place. Okay, so I like to share my screen where I'm able to, and that would be Facebook and YouTube here. And let's see. All right, so the USCIS delays, it's not just for green card. It is also for people who have applied for naturalization, applied for a waiver. Most people that have been delayed a lot is about waivers. It's also for U visa cases. It's for the work permit, the 765, for advanced parole. It's for a whole shit ton of cases. And so you would think that because you have to mail your application, depending on the type of application, you have to mail it to a specific address of USCIS. They have several offices around the United States, and you would think because they do that is to have a very structured workflow. Well, it's as if they don't have any workflow. So folks, we're going to talk about it. We're going to share ways that you can maybe prevent the delays, maybe not all of them, but some of them is just nothing you can do except file a lawsuit. So if you have a question today, you're welcome to drop it down in the comment section. All right, Maria is on TikTok to help us out. Pin a comment or a question. And by the way, if I'm not able to answer your question just because it's limited time, or I am not able to answer your question as in-depth as you would prefer, we offer a strategy session for 15 minutes, no cost to you. There is no obligation to hire. Of course, it's our pleasure to assist you from start to finish, or maybe even in the middle if you get an RFE or annoyed, notice of intent denial. Okay, we're here to help you. Our mission is help people live and work in America legally. Okay, despite what Republicans think or conservative folks in America. All right, so folks, again, we do offer that, but you need to unlock that free 15 minutes. Now that you found us on social media, we want to offer that free value to you, but you have to share the secret code. Okay, the code is September. All right, the code is September. I know it's not so creative, but the code is September. So what I'm trying to say is because this gives you a leg up, more priority in a sense, because we do get a lot of inquiries. We do get inquiries from also word of mouth from prior clients, their friends and family. We greatly appreciate it, but our team has had more difficulty lately on which ones to respond to first. So please do that. Please share the secret code September, and our team will get back to you hopefully in 24 hours of a business day. Okay, let's see here. So let's see. So I can share my screen. All right, on YouTube and Facebook of the current situation, at least with NVC. All right, but I know with the title of this subject today is, at least on YouTube, is USCIS delays are extremely high. And it's true. It may not be for everyone, but the one where people have suffering a long delay is waiver cases. Okay. This is for people who have applied for the 601 waiver, 601A waiver. And that is where someone has stayed in the United States, either overstayed their visa, or they're in the United States without a visa entry at all. Okay. Some people will call that illegal entry. So let me pull that up. Okay. The processing times. Let me share that website with y'all. Okay. If you Google search, if you're wondering, or if you're on TikTok, you're wondering, well, what the hell is John sharing on the screen? You're welcome to go to our YouTube web channel as well. Not to try to take you off TikTok, but if you want to open another phone or another on your laptop or something, you go to greencardguys.tv. I'm happy to share that with you. Okay, I have to change that phone angle there. All right. It's super frustrating. So you might think there's nothing you can do, but there is. But unfortunately, it does cost more money, but it depends how you value time, right? So if you know that in a situation like this, a waiver application, okay, I'm clicking here. There's 2 service centers for this, Nebraska and Potomac Service Center. For those on TikTok, I'm sharing my screen. It shows 44 and a half months. Quote unquote, 80% of cases, they say that for every case type, every application. 80% of cases are completed within 44.5 months. So within could mean, yeah, maybe your application could be approved in 36 months. It doesn't have to be exactly 44 months, but we have experience filing mandamus lawsuits because of unreasonable delays. Of course, you might think that at the 3-month mark, that's unreasonable, but the government has their own timing chart in terms of what's unreasonable. Okay, there's nothing. The only type of application that's black and white in terms of very clear on the timing when to sue is when people applied for naturalization to become a U.S. citizen. If they said that if you had an interview and you still haven't received a decision in 120 days after the interview, then they said sue them in district court. Okay, so this is an example of a case that we help on. We of course help with other cases where you want to file your case fresh, or we help with requests for evidence. But knowing the processing times is important for you, because unfortunately we have heard of people breaking up. If it's a marriage case, yeah, people breaking up because it's just taking too long, and there's just high expectations of getting that legal status, and unfortunately that affects a marriage. Even though you would think, some people think that it shouldn't affect it, but it can. All right, so here's something to think about. That's Nebraska Service Center for waiver case 601A, taking 44 and a half months. Clicking on Potomac Service Center, where a lot of case waiver applicants, their cases were being transferred to Potomac Service Center in the DC area, saying 44 months. Kind of strange. Why would they just basically put the same processing times? Because isn't it the whole point is to transfer cases to another service center is that they can process it faster. But clearly, it's only half a month faster. It's a little strange to me, in my opinion. I love to share my opinion if you've been following our channel. And we try to cut to the chase. No sugarcoating, okay? Here at Ting Law Group, at Green Card Guys, we just transparent as possible, okay? So if you have any questions, I see some comments, or let me answer some questions. Welcome to drop it down in the comment section. Hi, Sarah. Thanks for the rose earlier. I think you shared that. If you apply for a fee waiver for $485, does it affect your VAWA case? No, because like anything with USCIS in general, if you're eligible for VAWA, for example, Victim Against Women Act, which, by the way, it's gender neutral. All right. A lot of, I remember in law school, someone basically they have to approve your case based on the facts. Okay. So if they can't deny you just because someone applied for a fee waiver. So yeah, take advantage of it if you can. All right. I'm not quite, I don't keep track of fee waivers that much. So I'm not sure which one. There's limited application types, if people are wondering. Okay, Karadai, can I marry a U.S. citizen? You're an immigrant. Can I marry? Is that possible? Yeah, of course it's possible. It just depends. You gotta find the right one. Okay. I wish you all the best in finding the right match. That is difficult. Okay. And even when you do, you might think after a few months in, you might, or maybe a few days into it, you might think, yeah, this is not what I signed up for. So by the way, all joking aside, I highly suggest, there's some marriage relationship advice here, is reading a book called The 5 Love Languages. Have you read it? Drop in the comments what your love language is, your primary love language. All right. So I think it's very important, even when you're not married. I highly suggest finding out your significant other's love language before you get married, because if someone's love language is quality time and you work a lot, you care a lot about your job, this might be difficult, right? So, especially like a doctor or lawyer, we just get stuck with our job in a sense. Like we live this 24/7. So, anyways, yeah, love language, read it, 5 love languages. Check out that book. All right, now to immigration questions. Let me switch over to YouTube real quick. Hey, Anu, what's going on? I see you've changed your YouTube name. Good afternoon. You found that USCIS accounts used to file an online form or more has rest of unfair don't have. Oh, interesting. Okay, thanks for sharing. Roy, hello. CBP just approved you for global entry. Congratulations, Roy, because I applied for that, I think, before the pandemic or right be after, and that was a hassle. So, can you use the global entry card as evidence of status if you drive through domestic CBP checkpoints if you don't have your green card with you? That's interesting. I'm not sure. I mean, hopefully you can find that information on the global entry FAQs, whatnot. I I haven't had a client try that, or they haven't. If they would tell me, it's it would be in a situation where it didn't work. So, but you would think it'd be enough, but I'm not sure if that would help during checkpoint. So good luck on that. Let us know, Roy, if it works for you. If anything, Roy, I would have a scanned copy of your resident card. If you're just not, if you're, some people of course worry and don't want to carry it because you don't want to lose it. For my driver license, for example, I have a scanned copy on my phone on a cloud account. Okay, Kayla, can you apply for citizenship 3 years after getting green card through VAWA? Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You can do that. So definitely don't wait. Get it done because things happen in life, like a pandemic, and USCIS delays cases. Trump was in office, so he delayed it even further. So, yep, take care of that as soon as possible. 612 hardship waiver processing time. Yeah, that was another one I was gonna say. It's ridiculous. So let me pull it up right now. 612, you said? Okay. 612. We'll have 2 different categories. One is for based on exceptional hardship, and another one is just the other situation. But right now I'm sharing YouTube. It's 14 months for this one, the 612 application. Just about maybe 6 months ago, it showed it longer than that. I think it was showing 24 months. So let's see. Let me pick another. It could have been Vermont Service Center. Oh, wow. If your case goes to Vermont Service Center, they claim 3 weeks. That is completely new. We need to share that on social media and see if people are actually experiencing 3 weeks. Oh, wait. Yes, we have. Krista, I believe we are cost effective, but you get a lot of value from our benefits, from our pricing, our fees. So hopefully, if you have time, you're welcome to. Yeah, we're not cheap, but yeah, I see Sarah's comment. Yeah, we're not cheap, but I think we're reasonable compared to other attorneys. Britt, you read it. Okay, glad Brittany, you read it. Quality time and physical touch. Yeah, unfortunately, mine is not quality time. I wish I had that, but yeah, one of mine is touch, and my wife's love language is, we had to verify it this morning, but for hers is quality time and action. Like she put a post-it note on my computer monitor that said take out the trash Tuesday and Friday. I can't forget, folks. Otherwise, it's gonna overload. Let's see. Okay, Shireen. Shireen asked, what if you don't meet your husband's family because he's in the military in a different state? Great question, Shireen. You don't have to meet your spouse's family. There is no requirement to do that. Just know that if you're in the U.S., which I'm assuming, and your husband's the citizen, since in the military, I'm assuming you're in the U.S. because you got a USA flag in your profile name. But then it's going to be an interview in the United States. Now, look, if you use our proven checklist, our process, you might have your interview waived. But if at the interview they ask you, have you met family? I mean, it's not a requirement. Okay, that's not a requirement by USCIS, but they could ask those silly questions, which I think is ridiculous. And there's no requirement to have letters from in-laws or anything like that. All right. But thanks for the question. But the officer's questions like that could trip you up. It seems reasonable to ask, but like it's not necessary. Can I file my I-130, 45, submit together, and marriage to a permanent resident? No, you cannot. Sorry. Well, you're still in status B1, but unfortunately, it has to be, you have to maintain your status. So, yeah, unfortunately, right now with the visa bulletin, it's not current for F2A, for a spouse married to a resident. So, I do not recommend that. I only recommend if you're married to a resident, two things. Number one, that your spouse becomes a citizen when he or she is eligible. And number two, only file the petition, because you don't want to file the 485 application and say, find out later, like, oh, shoot, wasn't supposed to file it, wasn't eligible. Hopefully, USCIS rejects it, because if they reject the 485, then you get your money back. But they might not. They might cash in your check, cash in your money order, which, by the way, I have a lot of tangential tips here, but don't send a money order, because then you can't keep track of it. So if anything, use cashier's check or a check. Well, like cashier's check, I don't think you keep track of that either. So check, old school check, or use the electronic form. I have so many tangential advice. I don't remember if I answered your question. Oh yeah, I did. Okay. Abby, me and my husband have our green card interview. Oh shoot, where'd it go? Y'all have a lot of questions. Thank you so much. The pin comment went away. Oh, there we go. Thanks for your trust. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to me and my team. You have your green card interview next month. Any tips? Absolutely. We've got a lot of tips. I need to find a way to share our guide for that. So Abby, if you don't mind, I'll share a couple now, but send us a message. All right, and we're happy to share that with you. I need to find a way, probably create it as a link or something. No one's ever asked me, so thank you. We have a lot of tips, but the guide won't cover, of course, the legal scenario, but more about typical questions. But yeah, our PDF has like the long laundry list of questions, essentially, just in case scenario. All right, but the most common one is one of the first questions I could ask is, how did you meet? And sometimes you just really don't want to share too much. I mean, I wouldn't say like, respond in a way is like at a bar and not say anything else, right? A little bit more information, right? But you don't have to elaborate like, oh, met him or her at a patio, and yeah, it was a nice evening. Like, just you want to share like maybe you met their mutual friend, um, so tips like that just give some detail, but it doesn't have to be so precise, because my suggestion is when you share some information so precise, like, oh, we met August 1st, like, that's cool. But then if they ask other kind of more delicate questions, but you weren't so precise on that, so just give like approximate dates. That's my suggestion, but I could be wrong. Do what you want to do. But don't be so brief and that you're like, as if you don't want to talk to them, is what I'm trying to say. Okay. You want to kind of maintain that conversation. Mochi Wochi. How long to get PIP approved? Oh man, that's another $1 million question. Unfortunately, I don't know that answer that question, because the PIP applications, which is the 131, needs to go to every field office depending where you live, and they don't have that in the processing times like I like to share on YouTube and Facebook. Let's see here. You can't remember exact dates, Brittany? Yeah, no problem. Usually it's the dude that doesn't remember, but we don't want to play gender roles here. Let's see. Okay, Bordeaux whiskey. What about delays for E4 for SIJ for Mexican citizen? Let's see here. Let's see what it shows. Let me pull up the visa bulletin. my other favorite website to check out. Not Visa Bulletin is like my arch nemesis. No one likes to deal with the Visa Bulletin, understandably, because Congress set a limit to visas during JFK's administration. EB4, okay, okay, looks like they're working on cases. You said Mexico, October 2018. So you had to file that I-360, the guy prior date, October 2018, so you could take the next step, okay, for the SIJ. All right, let's see. Let me hop over to Ren on YouTube. All right, Ren, you ask, is a 601 used for vaccination waivers? Yes, and that's also annoying to deal with because I understand y'all have your own. Let me pull up the instructions for y'all. This is very important to know as well. But y'all make your own decisions, right? I get it. But U.S. immigration law, you're gonna have if you want to get a green card, you're gonna have to take it. If you want a visa, temporary work visa, you don't have to get it. But if you want a green card, you want to become a resident of the United States, you have to take the COVID-19 vaccine. Because essentially what it boils down to, I'll share on my YouTube, the screen on YouTube, is that if you don't want to take a vaccine, you have to show proof, essentially your reasoning of why that you did not take other vaccines. It can't just be for COVID-19. All right. So they don't want to allow you to share your logical reasoning, okay, like the FDA emergency process approval, for better or worse. I mean, some of us felt more comfortable taking it, but some of y'all were not comfortable. I get it. And I know like TSA or TSA, they don't require anymore because CDC doesn't require anymore, which is kind of interesting, right? The CDC requires certain things in terms of behavioral, what do you call it? Yeah, health ground inadmissibility, right? Health ground inadmissibility includes information about behavioral, like about like habitual drunkard, things like that. Yet, so they have to maintain that, but they take COVID-19 vaccine, but yet they still want people to take the COVID-19 vaccine for when you want to become resident. It's super annoying. Okay, even I'm frustrated about this, like not logical process for the government. So, but anyway, I wanted to share the instructions on the 601 that if you do want to file for this, okay, they have a table of contents here: health ground inadmissibility, number 9, page 9. I mean, scroll down here to page 9, and it says here, if you're seeking a waiver under Section 212G2C of the vaccine requirement, you must file this application, blah, 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 because vaccinations are against your religious beliefs or moral convictions. You must establish with evidence that 3 things. Number 1, you're opposed to vaccinations in any form. Any form, that's interesting. I guess injection or pill form. Number 2, or B, your objection is based on religious beliefs or moral convictions. And C, the third one is your belief or conviction is sincere. So basically, you're not lying, which of course I know a lot of y'all are not lying. But the thing is, this is basically they're trying to say that you're objecting to all vaccinations, even though they don't use the word all. So just keep that in mind, because I think this application is $915, something like that. So it's pretty ridiculous. Okay, it's pretty expensive with respect to in the USCIS form. So just keep that in mind. Let me just check that real quick, because when I have shared the cost with my clients, they change their mind. Because we don't want you to have to apply for file for this. I get it if you want to apply for it, but then we have to charge you money, right? And then if you want to do it on your own, it's $930. Okay, let me share my screen here. $930. Okay, so Reed says you have never gotten any vaccinations. Okay, so Ren, you might have a chance then in that sense. Shanique the vaccine is not available in your country, how will this affect your visa interview? Then it will affect it. So not your interview per se, but more so well, yeah, kind of your interview, but definitely your visa issuance. So you definitely try to go to a different country, unfortunately. Yeah, it's such a hassle. I'm sorry to hear that it's not available in your country. Okay, so back to TikTok. Valentino, can you file a citizenship if I-90 is pending? Yes, absolutely. You don't have to wait for it to be approved. And in fact, you don't want to wait until it's approved, because if you go to the in processing times, I'm going to share on YouTube as well. I'm assuming yours is going to be for renewal, but it's it's only at the Potomac Service Center. Ooh, you're not going to like this, Valentino. 19 and a half months, Valentino. It's taking forever. And it can include just for, let's see, for initial issuance or replacement. How long is that taking? Even longer, 20 months. Like, why does it, if you lose your green card, your resident card, which you don't want to do, okay, if you apply for I-90 because you lost it, it's taking 20 months. They say 80% of cases are taking 20 months. So for me, if someone says like, hey, John, can you sue the government for this based on I-90? Yeah, we could, but, is there a reason why, you would be against becoming a citizen, applying for that? Maybe it's because of timing or something. So to really think about the whole, like holistically, okay, in terms of like, can you save money in one spot so that eventually you can just get the full plethora of legal status, maximize your legal status in America to become a U.S. citizen? Because then let's not file the mandamus lawsuit and let's just file to become a U.S. citizen. All right. But I know some of y'all, depending on timing, you might not be eligible. But typically people that talk to us about I-90 to replace or renew your residency, some of y'all, a lot of y'all have been residents for a long time. So anyways, let's see here. What happens if you never become a citizen? Look, the whole saying, like, wrong place, wrong time. You may have done everything right. You got some friends that maybe holding some weed, holding something that you just didn't know about, or just left something in your car. And for whatever reason, I don't know, police officer smells something, which, by the way, their job is going to be even more difficult. Just Texas just passed something that allows marijuana. So medical marijuana. I mean, they didn't just pass it, but there's variations of upgrading the law essentially. So that's going to make it difficult for cops. But by the way, if you're in a state that allows at least medical marijuana, just don't use it and then drive, because you still don't want to give a cop any reason to try to stop you for a long detention, essentially. Don't give them probable cause. Let's see here. I went on a huge tangent. Okay. Where is, but yeah, I guess I'm inferring that your question, Gray, is saying like, what if you don't become a U.S. citizen? What's the problem? That's just one example. Wrong place, wrong time. Because you don't want to lose your resident status for being in the wrong place, wrong time. And not saying that you would lose the status, but then you could get referred to immigration court for removal proceedings. Okay, let me answer this question. Then I'll have to have a tip about removal proceedings. Can I still use my social security card if your work permit expired and you're now in the process of 601A? Yeah, if you have a social security number from before, you can still use it. If you try to get a new job or something, I guess maybe you have LoveC, you probably have a DACA or TPS. But yeah, folks that have generally, if you didn't have DACA or TPS, generally, or not asylum pending situation, then usually if you have to apply for a waiver 601A, you don't have the opportunity to get a work permit. Let's see, but I did have want to share some tips. We've been getting a lot of calls lately about someone had like, y'all have like removal proceeding, a court hearing. I love it. I appreciate it. But in general, you can't call a lawyer last minute, because someone also scheduled something, I think Friday or Saturday, to meet with us on Monday. Of course, I'm not sharing your names, and probably just, a lot of y'all want to find more information to find a better pathway for y'all. But yeah, we checked the system, and there's another reason why we go on live show, do recordings, so you can know the situation with immigration. We had told this person, the spouse, that the hearing for that day was yesterday was an individual hearing. That is a trial. Okay, individual hearing means final trial. Like, this is your last shot, essentially. So unfortunately, it did not appear that she knew that, or that the husband knew it. So if you get in a situation, you get a letter from USCIS, like a RFE, a notice of intent to deny, a letter from immigration court, please, or maybe not necessarily a letter from immigration court, but your spouse got detained, do not wait to hire a lawyer, or at least consult with one. Okay. And that's another reason why we offer strategy session for 15 minutes, no cost to you, which is a good plug for our secret code. Please save this as a secret code. We have a new one every day. Today's code is September. Let me share that with the team so I don't forget what the code is. Today's code is September. So if you're at work or something, or a break, and you just don't have time right now to go to our website, greencardguys.com, all good. Just DM us on TikTok, and we'll send you the link that way, just so you don't forget it. All right. But it helps our team prioritize who to respond to sooner, just because we got a lot of inquiries. So just trying to give y'all some value for staying on live. Appreciate it. All right. So Ren, that is one way. You can go to our website, greencardguys.com, on YouTube. Let me put that as a banner down there. Okay. Let's see. Is it better? Oh, shoot, Maria. Sorry, I missed that one. Is it better to do something? Oh, here's another one. K.A. Errol, you've been waiting for I-130 for almost a year. Your citizen filing for your husband. I think I saw your comment yesterday. You may not have heard my response, but about a year is about right. And you're the citizen filing husband, assuming your husband is outside America. Okay, so let me show I-130 for a safe assumption. I mean, you did say you're your citizen. What's service center, Carol? So right now with California Service Center, it shows 14 and a half months. But again, folks, in general, we don't necessarily wait to file a lawsuit just because of what it says on processing times on USS website. That's not what we call unreasonable. So, but generally, even with petitions, we generally suggest waiting 15 months to make it quote unquote unreasonable timing, because most likely you'll get your petition approved, okay, before the 14 and a half. It's very rare. The times I've had, I helped out another lawyer friend where they had a fiance petition pending, but they go to a different track. Okay, if there's a crime, unfortunately, because the Adam Walsh Act, to protect the foreign national. But anyway, it went to a different track, even though the crime was something not related to child abuse or anything. And it took over a year, almost 2 years waiting. So we filed a lawsuit on that. Is it better if you file your, so we got it back on track. If you file your adult child as a citizen than a green card holder? Oh, okay. If you're the green card, okay, well, let's take a look at that. Let's check it out. Let's not make any assumptions, but if your adult child, well, first it depends also if your adult child is married or not. Okay. But also, if your child is not in America yet, I recommend to not be in America, so you don't have to apply for a waiver. But I get it. If you got to get a job in America, I totally get it. But we're looking at the visa bulletin right now, and you're asking which one is better. It could change. Whatever I say now could change in terms of what is better. But if you apply as a citizen and your adult child is unmarried, that's F1. All right. But if they are married, that's F3. So let's take a look. Okay. In which country would you be with that? Love C, I saw your comments. I read my comment, but there's so many comments. I'm sorry. We're trying to get to it. Oh yeah, I did read your comment. I answered it. Maybe you did. Maybe your comment was before what I said. Okay. Let's see. So yeah, here it is. F1 versus F3. Let's just say, for example, all chargeable areas. They're working on cases September 2017 where the petition was filed. But anyway, you can convert. Okay, you can convert from F3 to F1. So it just depends what's strategic at the time. But you can file a petition now as a permanent resident and then later become a citizen. You can essentially upgrade. Okay, conversion is what we call it technically. So just check that out. But those are both F1, F3 is if you, the sponsor, as a citizen. Otherwise, F2B as a resident. Okay, F2B, unmarried son or daughter. So, if for some reason the sponsor does not want to become a citizen, but your child marries, I mean, let's say you're married, but then you can convert back to this and good if they get divorced. But if they stay married, then it's gonna knock them out unless you become a citizen. So that's F2B, and they're working on cases that were January 2017. So this visa bulletin is annoying. It is a bit complex, but at least it's a chart format. That's a good thing. Okay, Alaya, recently out of status, F1, student visa. What are ways you can get a green card or get back in status? Well, if you're out of status now, you can't get back in status in terms of like a temporary visa or work visa because it's too late. You would have to leave. But when you say recently out of status, hopefully it was not more than 180 has not been more than 180 days. So Alaya, this might be an opportunity. If it's not been more than 180 days, you might want to get in contact with us as soon as possible or any lawyer to have a consultation to see what your options are. But by the way, if I know a lot of y'all kind of joke around, some of y'all joke around and say, oh, why don't you just or you hear this advice, why don't you just get married to a U.S. citizen? Well, the real legal reason why that's possibly a better reason is if you find the right match, is because it's called immediate relative classification. So like all the visa bulletin I just shared with you on YouTube, you can just fly right by it if you have immediate relative classification. And so there's less wait time, but also it automatically waives any unlawful presence, right? But of course, you recently just got a status, so you don't want to wait until just wait to find out other options, basically, because we all can't bank on getting married. Thankfully, I got that taken care of. I got citizenship through naturalization. You have 2 kids under 18. What do you file? Congratulations on becoming a citizen, Nestorina. Unfortunately, so you may have heard if you weren't a resident, you could file just one petition to include the kids. But I really actually recommend that someone does become a citizen, which you did. But you do have to file separate petitions for each person. Okay. Yeah, you have to file separate petitions. So I-130, that's the first step. Alrighty, hopefully that helps. Let me see if any comments on YouTube real quick. Rudar said Jamaica. Your spouse submitted all the documents at MVC. Okay, financial documents. Since January, you're awaiting your visa interview. Shanique, yeah, great question. I was going to ask that too. Does your spouse have the COVID vaccine? Okay. I need to check on that. Brittany, if you hire a lawyer, does it possibly increase for getting a green card? It depends what you're thinking. I mean, in general, I like to think yes, but that doesn't mean if you don't have a lawyer, doesn't mean you can't get it on your own. It depends what you value. If you value managing your stress to be low, if you value your time so that you don't have to do the research, you don't have to stay live on these shows every time I go live, which is usually Monday through Friday for at least 30 minutes, then because once you become a client of any law firm, then hopefully you shouldn't have to ask questions to other lawyers. So this is what we do, okay, to help make it. We have a proven checklist. We have a estimated timing. Okay, we share a step-by-step timeline. We share an email address one email address. So anyone on the legal team can respond to your question, even if one of us is out of town, sick, or just out for that hour, someone on the team can respond. So those are things that most law firms don't think about. It's quite strange, to be honest. They don't. Most law firms don't think like a tech company in that way. Um, okay. Rudard said, "How long does it take for you to get an interview for visa?" Yeah, it depends. I think you said you're in Jamaica, but yeah, it depends on in general for anyone else listening on. Because if I'd say 6 months, I mean, yeah, generally it's 6-ish months, just generally across the world. But that doesn't mean that one country is going to be the same for another country. It usually just depends on the timing. Because before the pandemic, they used to be saying like National Visa Center would just send in cases to the consular embassy automatically. But now, because of the pandemic, NVC waits. Okay, so they hold on to your file until the consular embassy says, "Okay, we have appointments opened up, so now send us some." All right, so it's a little slower in that respect. I mean, okay, MS Dakani, can you have two open 45s? Yeah, you can, fortunately, and that's because Congress doesn't fund USCIS. I think that's the main reason. They'll take your money if you pay them. Yeah. Um, two different applications. Yeah, assuming one's for employment or one's for marriage, something like that. You can do that. But I don't think you were having me imply this, but don't have. Yeah. Anyway, Avatar, you applied I-730 in October 8th, 2019. 2019. Okay, let me check out processing times. 730. Ooh, yeah, 30 months. It should not take 30 months. All right. It should not take 30 months. So you need to find a way. Okay, Avatar, if you want to consider file a lawsuit, we're happy to chat with you about it. But you don't have to. It's just 30 months right now. Oh, I thought I was sharing on YouTube. There it is. This is the 730 application. Yeah, it was just like we just filed one, I think about 2 months ago. We got approved in about a month. Pretty quick. So unfortunately, sometimes you're going to hear about other cases. You're like, they just filed it and got approved. What the hell's going on with my case? Does not mean that your case is bad or not. It just means USCIS is stupid and silly. So no offense to any USCIS officer or work employee of USCIS. It's just the system. The system sucks. All right. So you just have to take any action possible that can help your case. Mimi 230 asked, can you travel in the US with B1, B2 and get married to a US citizen? Yeah, you can. But if you want to have more tips about it, schedule a strategy session, which, by the way, folks, just wanted to offer right now. We do offer, or share with y'all, we do offer a strategy session. If you've just joined, you may not have known this, a strategy session for 15 minutes at no cost to you. Okay. But you need to have this secret code. Today's code is September. Some of y'all have been tuning in live to our show, so every day is a different secret code. If you have the opportunity to, and you send us a message, September, so you don't forget, and we'll send you the link to schedule an appointment, okay? And we can share more information about it. Someone asked for that guide for the questions, the interview questions. We're happy to send it. The best thing to do, I appreciate you asking here in the comment section, but the best thing to do is send us a DM, okay? And then we'll get you that link, okay? Because when I end the live show, the comments go away. All right, let's see. 2 lawyer law firms told us that we cannot file a spouse and EB3 unskilled at the same time. Well, that's interesting. I wonder why they said that. So what we'd like to do is, if they did say something like that, it'd be good to see some proof of it. I always like to show proof of it. Situation like this, Yeah, that's strange. I wonder why they would say that. Maybe they don't want to give USCIS an indication that your job offer is not bona fide, is not real, or they don't want to give the in some kind of inference that your marriage is not real. But if you have the evidence to back it up, there's no reason that it could not accept multiple applications. Um, but really, you would have a pretty good idea. It just goes to show maybe you don't have the right law firm to help, because honestly, I would just try to save the money and just figure out which one would be faster, right? So typically, anything like EB, you may have had an EB process already started by the time you. When I say you, maybe you're talking about someone else, but by the time you might have already started the EB process by the time you found the right match, okay, your significant other. So, but yeah, EB takes in general like 2 to 3 years minimum, aside from the visa bulletin. But I'll check with my team. Maybe I'm wrong, but I would think I'm not, because I'm happy to be wrong, but Congress doesn't get funded. I mean, USCIS does not fund. I mean, USCIS is not funded by Congress, so it would make sense to me, at least in that respect, that they will accept it. In addition to the legal requirements, do I recommend using advanced parole for adjustment? Criminal record, no deportation. No criminal record. Okay, that's good. And no deportation. One illegal entry. You can, yeah, I recommend applying for advanced parole. Do I recommend leaving with? If you leave, I only recommend that when you have the advanced parole approved, which, well, first of all, you might not be able. Are you eligible for an exception to that? You might want to consult with an immigration attorney to check if you're even eligible to file for adjustment. Yeah, you might not. You might not be, because you said one illegal entry. So maybe you have DACA or something. Um, John Million, thanks. I see that you shared the secret code right here, but unfortunately, YouTube does not allow me to, DM. That's the thing about YouTube. They need to. Hopefully, they figure it out. But TikTok or those other programs, I keep forgetting to go live on Instagram. But anyway, you need to just message us, okay, Ja? Right up that number right above, right here. Okay, YouTube, I can point at it. I can't do that on TikTok apparently. We'll send you the website, okay? Otherwise, for those folks on YouTube, you can go to this website right here, free visa quiz, and our team will get a hold of that information. Let's see here. Okay, I got about 2 questions left. 2 questions left here, and then, okay, Nikki, and then, so if I don't answer your question, please, you're welcome. You don't have to. You're welcome to take advantage of this secret code, September, and take advantage of that strategy session. 15 minutes, no cost to you. Nikki, you said delay for B2. Why is the delay so insane? Yeah, it is super ridiculous. You waited 2 years. Okay, so yeah, there is no, unfortunately, like I've been sharing on YouTube, the USCIS webpage, the B1, B2 application, DS-160 is with the State Department. So unfortunately, there's no like standard wait time. There is a wait time for interview. There's a website about that, but that clearly is not going to help. Yeah. So we're happy to chat with you if we can think of other strategies other than B1, B2 in the meantime, because let's see here. Okay. HJHHHH, you're an SIV holder, special immigrant visa holder, and you currently live in UAE, have been waiting for interview since September 1st. Oh, okay. Well, you haven't been waiting that long. Who's this guy? This guy right here thinks it's been a long time. No, I'm just messing with you. But really, honestly, like you haven't been waiting that long compared to other people. So I don't know how long it's going to take for you, but yeah, every country is different in terms of that scheduling for interview abroad. It's a whole new ballgame in terms of the cases people are living abroad currently. Okay, but a lot of y'all have been waiting 24 months, 36 months, 4 years. We also help with people who have filed for asylum and been waiting for at least 4 years. We're happy to do that. Oh, snap. That's cool. I didn't even know I had this option. Okay, sorry. Do I have Instagram to contact me? Yes, at Green Card Guys, I think. Yeah, at Green Card Guys. I try to keep it consistent. Okay, Ebang. Sorry, I said your last name because your first name's long. I appreciate the star there. What should you do? What should you do if your medical RFE has been 5 months? Your PD is 9/23/2022. Well, first, in general, aside from PD, maybe you don't have to. Um, if your case is based on marriage, okay, for adjustment of status, marriage to U.S. citizen, then the priority date PD doesn't matter. But I don't know what your basis is for adjustment. So just want to share that. But in terms of follow up, I would recommend been 5 months. Ebang, is it a marriage case to a U.S. citizen? Is your sponsor a citizen or a company? But in general, when it's been a medical, it's a little bit different if you got the medical request for medical after an interview. But if it's before the interview, then if they ask for RFE on that, you're likely not going to get okay, you said based on marriage. You're likely, you don't hold me to it, but because I know, especially you sent $4.99, I appreciate it. I have no idea where that money goes, some account. But you never got the interview and you're married to a US citizen, that's fine. But it's difficult in the sense because it probably does show on the USCIS status online that RFE received, and that's great. It's good that they confirmed it. But even if they didn't, make sure that if you have send it by USPS or FedEx, UPS, you got some tracking number, because you don't want to. The thing is, some people don't. I might state the obvious sometimes, but some people don't check the status. Even though I know most of y'all do check the status, so good for you. But if you don't check the status to even see if they received it, you don't want to assume that they received it if you didn't use it with tracking, mail tracking, okay, courier service with tracking. All right, so hopefully that helps. But I mean, 5 months, yeah, that's a bit long, right? If the whole thing is supposed to cut down the time for interview, it's definitely too early for a lawsuit. Okay, we would need to know like how long your case has been going on in general. It sounds like you said 5 months, so it sounds like it's been 5 months since the RFE sending that in. They received it. You see the green check mark. Okay, that's good. So I don't believe you're going to be able to submit an inquiry based on your receipt date. I'm assuming your receipt date's, let's say within the past year, because I usually, you can input it here. Let me see if I can share that with you. Let me just select I-45 on YouTube as an example, family-based. Let me share my screen. Okay, I'm going to take off the comment real quick. Okay, family-based, 45. I'm just going to pick. Well, let me ask you, Bang, what's your service center field office? Or actually, you tell me the field office. Which major city are you living at? 12 months since filing. So, okay, oh man. So maybe then you filed it since last year. Okay, September 2022. Atlanta, yeah, Atlanta's a little slow. Let's see, Atlanta, Georgia. 22 and a half months. Ooh, that's ridiculous. So you don't have to wait until 22 months to file a lawsuit. But if it's been, I would say at least 15 months, that's when we tend to file a lawsuit for 45 applications based on no interview. Because unfortunately, Ebang, you're in a situation where you filed your case before 2023, which is completely fine, right? So a lot of people are frustrated. Like all these folks are, a little slower than me, and they filed in 2023 and they already got the green card. That's super, super frustrating. So yeah, maybe you have to file a lawsuit, but it's still a little early. You're waiting 12 months, so let's wait a couple more months, okay? But you're welcome to contact us if you want information about a free guide about it, okay? I know I have another question on YouTube, but I want to answer Eartha. This is Eartha. Your question is: should you file I-130 together for your sister? No, um, you can't, because you have, number one, your sister has to maintain status, non-immigrant status, and number two, there is a visa bulletin involved for family preference cases. All right, so if this is family sibling filing for siblings, a family preference. There is no automatic waiver of unlawful presence, which some people, when they mention this, like initially, they're like, "Yeah, well, my sister's here with student visa." Look, your sister ain't gonna be a student for that long, okay? Not for like 10 plus years. Um, that's a long time. That's just not realistic, unless you're like playing college football and try to extend your eligibility years or something. I don't know, but um, what's a good time to apply for green card after asylum is approved? The next day. Okay, the next day. I think it was February 2023 that the policy changed to say you still technically have to wait in general. You can't get the green card approved until you get the 1 year worth of residence time in America after having asylum status approved. But you can now file the 485 as soon as your asylum application is approved. So do not wait on that. Okay. Because the whole thing is that it takes so long for the case to be approved. All right, I'm going to share on YouTube again. What was that application? Maria, what was that last one? Let's see. Oh, oh yeah, silent. I mean, adjustment. Yeah, so 45. Okay, let me select that. Okay, based on grant of asylum more than 1 year. There we go. Let me click on that. Get processing times. Oh, y'all not gonna like this. 31 months. 31 months. This is based 45 based on grant approval of asylum more than a year ago. They say a year because you have to show that amount of time in America with asylee status. Okay, 31 months. Look, this is stupid. Okay, this is so stupid because like, why should it take so long? And this is what it is. Internally, I believe, based on what I hear with the Department of Justice reports, they're basically trying to make sure that, yeah, even though some people have been approved before, when they have the opportunity to go through adjustment review during adjustment status stage, they're looking at your claim. Okay, they're looking at your claim again to see if there's anything wrong with it, if it was fraudulent. Okay, so that's the very unfortunate thing. Ebang, I appreciate it. Looking forward to helping you when you need it. You might not need it now, but we'll be on standby. Okay, contact us right up here. I know there was another comment. Just here to watch TikTok. Love your name. Today, his case went from refused to administrative processing. This is good. It's okay. Is administrative processing in general is annoying, but some cases get visa issued in a week. Some don't. Some wait many months. But in general, it does usually go to administrative processing. Oh, okay. You're saying from refused to administrative processing. Yeah, that is a good sign. But we don't know if it's going to be like tomorrow or next week that you're going to get the actual status show of visa issued. That would be great. You're on the way there. Can you travel with your 2-year-old green combo card or 2 year combo card with 45 pending? In general, yes, but if you have any arrests or crimes, I don't recommend it. In terms of traveling abroad, you can still travel domestically. Okay. If anyone is not familiar with the Advanced Pro, the 131, a lot of people ask this: can I travel outside the United States? Yes, you can, but the problem is, can you come back in? Right? Can I come back in legally? And that's why you need the Advanced Pro, the 131 application approved beforehand. And unfortunately, it takes at least 6 months. So for y'all that are applying based on marriage based to U.S. citizen this year, 2023, you might get your green card before the 131 is even approved, which is great. Miss Bode or Bode, any tips for K1 interview? Yes, I do. Thank you for asking. I certainly do. I need to put this on record this video about that. Know your plan. Know your marriage date plan. Okay. I've heard stories where a person went to the interview and they asked them, when do you plan on getting married? Everyone I would think everyone knows by now, if you've gone through this process, at least starting it, that when you get the visa, you come to America. The day you come to America, it starts the clock for the 90 days. You have to get married in 90 days. So that's why I think, to be honest, anyway, I don't think he had an answer that was appropriate. Like, I don't know. You gotta know. You're about to get the visa. How do you have and yet you not talked about it? So it's just kind of strange, right? I feel bad for people who get denied by that, but it's such a simple question that if you just talk to your significant other, you would have known that answer. So it's like you gotta write it down in your wrist or something. All right. I know some of y'all are very forgetful, but for something like that, you probably should know it. Okay, let me Zarina, yes, you can get married to a U.S. citizen. Would you suspend your asylum case? No, I would not do anything with asylum case. Just let it pending for now to make sure, because I hope you find the right fit, and I'm sure you each of you think you found the right fit of each other, but you just never know what could happen. So just keep that asylum case pending. So we've even had 45 cases approved based on marriage, and they don't mention anything about asylum case. So once it's approved, you get that green card in your possession. Then we file a letter to USCIS to withdraw your asylum application. We just want to keep all options open until necessary. Okay. All right, you two. I know I missed someone here. Let me go back. Let me go back here. Will a blanket waiver prevent you from having to travel to a different country for vaccine? I don't know about other country, Shanique, because I don't know their rules. But in terms of I can only mention about like U.S. immigration laws in that sense. Oh, I see what you're saying. I highly doubt, because our waiver is only with respect to U.S. Okay, so I don't know if other countries have something like that. Rudard, Sam, you're welcome. Sorry, y'all. I respond so quickly because because there's a lot of questions. So again, thank you so much for your trust. Before I forget again, if you just joined live, we do offer a strategy session for 15 minutes, no cost to you. You might think, well, how the hell is it possible to get all the information I need in 15 minutes? Well, you just join me live. You have a consultation. You might forget a question. It's all good. Come back live, ask me a question. Or, some situations we don't offer to everyone, but in some situations we can have a second consultation. But usually our team is able to, if you call in or something, our team is able to answer your question. Okay. They usually ask us during our legal team review meetings. So that's how we're able to respond quickly. Okay. Oh, Rudar, you said you got your spouse is a U.S. citizen. Oh, congrats to your spouse with a doctorate degree. I know that's not easy. Did I miss anyone else on YouTube? Okay. John Million. What can you do when it's on your application that you're married in your country to get the visa, but you're not? Ooh, snap. You are not. Ah, man. Okay. Okay. Man, I need to make a skit on this on TikTok. Not to make fun of the situation, but all right, Ja. So you will most likely need to file a 601 application for misrepresentation. We've done it before. We've been successful before, but we do not guarantee results for other folks. Okay, especially not through a live show. But the thing is, it depends on your circumstances. We would need to know more information. All right, so of course, this is a hypothetical. I don't know if this is your situation, but yeah, some people do that. As you might understand, is that when you visit America, if you apply for a non-immigrant visa, which is typically a visitor visa, B1, B2. Some people check mark or write in that they're married, even though maybe they have a significant other, like girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever the gender is, but they're not actually married. And sometimes y'all do this because a community member, a someone who has experience but not a licensed lawyer tells you, "Oh yeah, no problem. It's been done before." Yeah, you might be able to get the visa, visitor visa, but when you apply for residency like this, you can still get it, but it's a huge problem. So you gotta talk to a lawyer, definitely. Okay, so Ja, I think you know that by now. It's better to pre-plan than wait until your interview and then because if you wait, some people ask like timing wise to file 601 and something like this. If it's pretty clear cut, like it's on the application and you should not have put in that information like that, then you might as well file the waiver now at the same time you file the 485. Because when you wait to the interview, they're only going to give you 30 days to respond. Okay. So I just don't recommend waiting that long. Okay. Um, R0009, how much does it cost to hire us applying for marriage based green card? I would love to share fees here on a live show. Unfortunately, TikTok banned us for like 5 minutes. I just don't want to risk that again when I share the fees before. But I believe our cost is reasonable. But you're welcome to share the secret code as a DM or call us AR0009. And what's it called? I tell the team you're welcome to share all the fees because honestly, at the end of the day, if it's out of your budget, then I'm sorry, but there are programs out there. It's kind of like I mean, it is a loan technically, but again, I think our cost is reasonable compared to other law firms. We're in Texas, folks, so not trying to hate on those on the East Coast or West Coast, but I can guarantee they're more expensive than us. And I don't know if you're gonna get the same value on customer service. At least I don't think so. Um, Back to YouTube. Uzair. Hi, sir. Your case refused under 221G for 13 months. What is the reason for behind? Because they suck. Okay. Because the US government is discriminatory, have discriminatory practices, and they suck. They have no workflow, or maybe they do have workflow, but they're intentionally delaying cases, especially people who are abroad. All right. So you don't want to wait any longer. Okay. Uzair, if you're still on, you want to consider filing mandamus lawsuit. Again, it would be our pleasure to assist you, but you definitely need to speak to a lawyer, okay, one-on-one, so you get all the accurate information, all right? 13 months is too long, Uzair. Gotta take action now. We usually wait at least 6 months, okay, when someone's in AP, administrative processing. Just me, question mark, can I hire y'all for siblings visa for a green card holder? You mean the sponsor's a green card holder? Well, if it's whoever the green card holder, they got to become a citizen of the United States before filing a petition for the sibling. So, but we during our strategy session for 15 minutes, we try to think of other alternate options. Maybe your sibling could be eligible for some kind of work visa. You never know. Of course, it's easier if someone has it actually doesn't require a degree, but in terms of work visa, it'd be easier if there's a degree involved in work experience. Okay. Enrique, sorry, I missed your question earlier. Is it true that I get my green card by using AP with DACA? Can I get it by not getting married? No, buddy. No. You gotta. Well, mm, yeah, you gotta. First, that scenario is specifically for people who get married. There's nothing in the law that says like this is only allowed for people who are married. But like people ask, well, can I do it through work? The thing is, when you're I mentioned like an hour ago that when you're married, that's to a US citizen, that waives unlawful presence. So then the benefit of doing this whole AP with DACA thing is that you don't have to apply for waiver. But if you do this through employment based, I mean, yeah, it doesn't waive through employment based. Yeah, this whole AP with DACA could it will cure the unlawful um, it doesn't cure the unlawful presence. It only cures illegal entry, but you still have the failure to maintain status. So There's two legal concepts: failure to maintain status and unlawful presence. Seem like they're similar, but there's two legal different concepts. So, thanks for asking that question. I could not answer that any quicker. That was as fast as I could explain it. How to expedite asylum 45 application? I don't think there's a way. I'm sorry. Okay. Okay, Con, I'm sorry. I don't think there's a way. But I could be wrong. You can ask for an expedited request PDF, and we'll send it to you. But in general, anything 485, there's no other way to expedite other than file mandamus lawsuit if it's reached at unreasonable timing. Jasper, your excuse me. I don't know how I could burp in that moment since I have not eaten lunch. I said, okay. I said 2 questions left about 30 minutes ago. So seriously, this is okay. 2 more questions, and that's and then I have to be done. I have to go to a team meeting. Asylum clock is stopped for almost 6 years now. Can you restart your clock? We don't practice asylum law, so I can't recall exactly. I'm familiar with it, but I can't recall how you can restart your clock in that sense. Because if you got your clock stopped, then you can't get your work permit. That's the key issue. So, but in general, this whole clock stopping is because of removal cases. Are you in immigration court? Otherwise, if it's not immigration court related, then we can file mandamus for your case. So you said 6 years. Ellie, you said, can I do a master's degree abroad if I have a green card as long as I come back once every six months? Okay, so yeah, if you get a green card, that's wonderful based on your degree or whichever way through that. But yeah, you do it too. Some people think like, oh, I don't have to come back to America because with a resident status with a certain amount of time because I don't want to become a citizen. It's not just about maintaining residency for citizenship. It's just to show that you're not abandoning your status. So yes, it has to be 6 calendar months. It's 6 months in a 12-month calendar year, so January to December, and it doesn't have to be 6 consecutive months. So that's a good thing. So if you want to hop in and out every other month, that's fine. Hopefully that helps. Okay. I want to answer a couple of questions on YouTube as well. Okay. Susie Maya, I don't know. I don't believe it. DV diversity visa should not require a U.S. citizen. You might be getting information in the wrong place. Maria Racino's son, 21 years old, U.S. citizen, made a file petition for you, but master hearing 2025. Your lawyer sent a motion to close the case. How long is the judge going to take to close the case? Could be 30 days. But usually they would make it 2025. You got a long ways to go. But hopefully your lawyer was able to get Department of Homeland Security to agree to join the motion. It's not required, but it can be helpful. Okay. So for Maria's situation, she's got a court case with immigration. We call it EOIR. Fortunately, her court hearings in 2 years, but sometimes having a court hearing these days, strategy is different every year or different depending on policy. But Department of Homeland Security tends to be very slow to notify us if they're going to join our motion dismiss if the court hearing is like 1 or 2 years out. Okay. They act more quickly because they have no workflow. I don't want to call it procrastination, but they just have no workflow. They have no ability somehow. They seem to be strained on ability to look at cases that are scheduled far out. I just don't understand that. It's just kind of backwards thinking. They should just designate at least like 2 people in each city to review cases where the hearing's so far out. But yeah, I mean, generally I would say 30 days, but there's also this in this situation, there's no black and white rule when a judge has to make a decision. Okay. But yeah, we file the proof of filing, evidence of that, receipt notice. Okay. So that hopefully gives the judge a better, proper information so they can make a decision to dismiss your case, close your case out. Okay. Miss Ghana. You got a receipt number, but you never got the receipt notice. Now 10 months, what do you do? So strangely, but fortunately, USCIS on the tools and resources webpage, they do have an option to request. There's a box that says, let me see if I can find it for you. USCIS inquiry. Okay. I'm sharing on YouTube. Did not receive notice. There we go. So the second option here next to case outside normal processing times. Select that. Okay. I was going to ask some questions about your case, which is kind of silly. It does ask for the receipt number, which doesn't make sense because you wouldn't have the receipt notice. But maybe there's some other way that you would have been notified. If you got an email with the receipt number at least, hopefully. I guess you do have it. You said you got a receipt number. So try that, okay? And your mailing address, things like that, okay? That's the best way to do it. Thanks for that question. That reminds me, I need to share a video on how to do that. Okay, folks, thank you so much. We do have a strategy session for 15 minutes, no cost to you. There's no obligation to hire. Okay, I do appreciate that. You trust us for me to answer your questions here, and but a strategy session, if you want to be prioritized and get one of our team members to speak with you first to find out about your case, see if we can help you, or just point you in the right direction. Okay, there is no obligation to hire an attorney, except, as I think Brittany asked earlier, it does make your case more smooth. You have lower stress levels. At least that's our goal. Lower your stress level and have a smooth as process as possible. Can't guarantee it, especially when it comes to consular cases, because they do some funny business that's not so funny for us. Okay. All right. You'll have a wonderful day. I greatly appreciate it again. And I will see y'all tomorrow. Take care.